Welcome, friends. I'm Alison Miller, filling in for the wonderful Terry Stiles this week, and here with my co-host Jim Hughes.
Hey, welcome back again, Alison.
Thank you. Together, we're bringing you this edition of Oxford News This Week. In today's headlines, new faces and funding for the Downtown Development Authority, 2 topics to know for upcoming election season, and a reserve of local resources for health and healing. So sit back and stay tuned because you're watching Oxford News This Week. The Oxford Village Council recently appointed local co-owner and operator of Sick Pizza Company, Scott Taylor, to a vacancy on Oxford's Downtown Development Authority Board. Sick Pizza Company opened in 2021. In his application, Taylor wrote that a fresh business owner's perspective would be valuable to the board. Village Council President Kelsey Cook said both she and the Downtown Development Authority Executive Director Kelly Westbrook were impressed with Taylor as an applicant, noting his active involvement in the Wednesday night car shows. Taylor's appointment comes just over 1 month since former DDA Vice President Grace Carey resigned. Taylor is also a trustee on Lake Orion Community Schools Board of Education. Since joining the Lake Orion Board about a decade ago, Taylor has served as its president and vice president. Before Sick Pizza and the school board, he also worked for 12 years as the business development director for Lake Orion Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Taylor's DDA term ends just before the start of 2027. Jim?
In a related story with the Downtown Development Authority, the DDA Board of Directors unanimously approved a grant ARPA funding during the meeting last month. The 4 board members out of the 9 total were absent from the meeting. The grant money will actually go towards the facade work at the 65 South Washington Street property. That includes the county kitchen and bath, also the landscape construction, Borgan Landscape Construction, Swiss Insurance Group, and JDR Wealth Management. $6,000 will actually go towards 6 stages of construction work on the front and back facades. According to the DDA documents, the northeast corner of the building will be disassembled. Old windows will actually be replaced with new decking and lighting. And will be installed as well. Next, funding for the new crosswalks is the first part of the multi-step American Rescue Plan Act project. The crosswalk project was previously approved by the Village Council. However, DDA Executive Director Kelly Westbrook said it was decided that it was necessary to ask the Village Council to use their system for the award management number for the project. She said the contract was written up through the system for award management number. The funding for the project comes from $1.9 trillion in aid from the COVID-19 recovery signed by President Joe Biden. Westbrook said that the DDA will need to put up 60% match for the funding, or about $200,000 to fund the crosswalks. To learn more about this project, you can visit the Oxford Leaders website. They have it right there for you to read a little bit more. Alison?
The All for Oxford Resiliency Center is hosting a panel discussion to help the community reflect and live a life of resilience and recovery. Next Tuesday, join the Resiliency Center at Lake Point Community Church at the Voices of Hope Navigating the Road to Resiliency discussion. The All for Oxford Resiliency Center was established to provide opportunities for those impacted by the 2021 tragedy to come together, find support, restore the community's sense of safety and security, and help each other heal. All services at the All for Oxford Center are free of charge and funded by the state of Michigan. By March of next year, the physical space on South Lapeer Road will sunset to a close. So, the center hopes the upcoming Voices of Hope panel of discussion will equip the community to implement a trauma-informed approach to living life. The event will feature 4 panelists, each with a connection to trauma support and education. Attendees will hear unique yet familiar stories of survivors and how they have found pathways to healing and life in the aftermath of tragedy. Food, resources, and a space to step out and take a break will also be available at the discussion, which starts at 6 p.m. To register for the event, visit the All for Oxford Facebook or Instagram pages. OCTV will also be live streaming the event, so navigate to our YouTube page to tune in. Jim?
The third annual Health and Wellness Fair Open House is bringing resources and education to the Oxford Township and Parks area and the Recreation Center next Thursday. The fair runs from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. and includes a free blood pressure check, medication reviews, immunizations, fall risk screenings, and community resources. The first 25 people to check in will be entered into a drawing to win a downtown Oxford gift card valued at $50. That's going to come in handy for the holidays coming up. The winner will be announced at 12:45 p.m. During the event, visitors can learn more about program offerings, community resources, and more to maintain health. Then from 10 a.m. to 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the Michigan Secretary of State mobile office, which is very handy to use, will be making a visit to the Senior Center as well. So if you have anything that the Secretary of State, like maybe renewing your license, the mobile office will help you provide service for seniors in Oxford and neighboring communities to aid those with limited access to the internet and transportation. Secretary of State offerings include applying for the first-time Michigan ID, renewing driver's licenses or IDs, applying for or renewing disability placards, transferring titles, and more. Registration is required for an appointment with the mobile office. You can be made by contacting the Oxford Township Parks and Recreation Department, Supervisor Dawn Medici, 248-628-1720. Again, very handy service that's brought here on a regular basis. Alison?
After Oakland University officials and the union that represents school faculty bargained throughout the summer, a tentative contract deal was finally reached right before the start of classes. Last Tuesday, OU and the American Association of University Professors reached an agreement just before the contract was set to expire, preventing the possibility of a faculty strike when classes were set to begin on Wednesday. Following the agreement, the American Association of University Professors posted a statement encouraging members to email their students as soon as possible to let them know classes were still on for the following day. Click on Detroit reports that two major sticking points during the agreements were wage increases for full-time staff and retirement contributions for guest lectures. According to OU, the union initially rejected a total percent pay increase of 21% over 5 years and said its demand of a 30% increase was neither feasible nor sustainable. The deal the parties reached is a 5-year contract with a 17.8% salary increase, along with additional one-time lump sum payments and funds allocated for market adjustments. Union members must still vote and ratify any possible deal before it becomes official, but the university said the compensation package is historic and great news for all concerned. Jim?
Thanks, Allison. Voters across Oakland County will actually have the opportunity to increase funding to the countrywide park system by passing the Oakland County Parks and Recreation millage proposal during the November 5th election. 17 Oakland County parks have delivered recreational experiences to the public for well over 60 years through voter support. If the millage is approved, Oakland County Parks currently 0.35 millage would be replaced with a 65 millage expiring in 2043. The new millage would generate approximately $52 million annually for investment in parks, trails, education and enrichment programs, and the preservation of the proposed 0.30 increase from the current millage amount would also equal $40 a year for your average taxable valued home. Oakland County Parks lists 8 benefits to the residents from the millage increase, including free entry to investments in accessibility, support for school trips, and enrichment programs, and the major capital investments to the improve and expand the park system, trails, and recreational attractions. Oakland County says the millage will also ultimately reduce costs for taxpayers through long-term financing and low-interest bonds, possible through the millage, a 20-year duration. To learn more or read the official ballot language regarding this proposal, Oakland County's website is available to you at oakgov.org. Check it out before you make that vote. Allison?
In additional election news, a Michigan judge has ruled that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. will still appear on the November presidential ballots in the state despite his request to have his name removed. The 70-year-old suspended his independent campaign and endorsed former President Donald Trump last month. Kennedy is seeking to withdraw his name in Michigan, North Carolina, and other states where the presidential race could be closely contested to prevent the chance of taking away votes from Trump. Kennedy filed a lawsuit in Michigan's Court of Claims against Michigan Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson to withdraw his name. Michigan election officials had previously rejected Kennedy's notice of withdrawal, and this attempt was no different. Court of Claims Judge Christopher Yates ruled last Tuesday that Michigan election law is clear that minor party presidential candidates cannot withdraw from the ballot. In a 4-page filing, Yates wrote that elections are not just games, and the Secretary of State is not obligated to honor the whims of candidates for public office. However, Kennedy's attorney in the Michigan lawsuit, Aaron Ziri, says that keeping Kennedy's name upends ballot integrity. The Detroit Free Press reports that appeals to Yates' ruling are likely, but at least for now, Michigan voters will still see Kennedy's name on November 5th. Jim?
And in our Behind the Lens segment, hopping into the holidays, the fall season makes it official. The start of the autumn equinox coming into the next within the next few weeks means it's time to register for those events, festivals, and celebrate seasons ahead. These newly posted downtown dates highlight both returning and brand new events for friends and families to take in local atmosphere while enjoying festivals and festivities. In the fall, crawl from the pub to pub, run for the Scarecrow Fest. We've been there, or embark on the girls' night out, witchy style. Then, when the snow starts to come down, ooh, that's a bad word, snow. I mean, it's okay. A lot of people like snow. Shop small to prepare for the holiday season before enjoying soups, sweets, and special rides aboard the Polar Express. To learn more about any of these events soon, make sure to check out the website, Downtown's Oxford's DDA Facebook page. Very well posted at what's happening and what's going on. Good stuff there. Our family, we like Thanksgiving, obviously, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, the food and everything and the football and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But we're a big Thanksgiving family.
Yeah, I mean, it's always nice to have time to spend with family and, you know, have a break from all of the craziness that's going on in life where everyone just sits down and gets together.
No doubt, no doubt.
Yeah.
In our last story today, making moves across the Mackinac Bridge, and Alison will have that. It's always been a pleasure having her here.
Thank you.
Coming up, we love him. He has Auto Talk and Science in the News, and his name is synonymous to both of those events. His name's Dave Kenny. He'll be back here in just a minute. You're watching Oxford News This Week.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
Welcome to this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny, and these stories are taken from Automotive News, and they're all recalls. In our first story, Ford Motor Company is recalling about 103,000 vehicles in North America due to a malfunctioning intake valve that could crack or break, leading to a catastrophic engine damage and increased risk of crash. The recall affects 2021 to 2022 F-150, Ford Edge, Bronco, Explorer, Lincoln Nautilus, and Aviator models, according to documents filed with NHTSA. An intake valve in an internal combustion engine opens at the proper time to allow fuel-air mixtures to be drawn into the cylinder. Investigations began in January of 2022 after 22 engines failed within 3 months. The failures were traced to brittle intake valves that exceeded hardness specifications. Ford switched to a more robust valve material for models made after October of 2021. Despite this, issues continued, and by August, Ford had logged 811 global warranty claims, 267 field reports, and 223 customer reports linked to fractured valves, according to a report of the chronology filed with NHTSA. The Field Review Committee approved a recall on August 16th. Ford has issued more than 30 recalls so far in 2024 and has led all U.S. automakers in recalls for the past 3 years, according to NHTSA data. Eaton Corporation of Nebraska is the supplier of the intake valve in the affected models. Ford is not aware of any injuries or deaths related to the faulty part. If this grinding burn concern is present and the intake valve is prone to cracking or fracture, this condition is likely to manifest early in the vehicle's life, the spokesman said. To remedy the issue, dealers will inspect each vehicle engine and replace those that do not pass, that is, engine cycle accumulation test. Ford is offering a separate customer satisfaction program for intake valve concerns that occur within 10 years or 150,000 miles, and customers are eligible for a one-time engine replacement if they experience an intake valve failure. Dealers will be notified by the end of September and owners at the beginning of October. And over at Toyota is recalling more than 45,000 large SUVs in North America because of a tow hitch cover that could come loose from the rear bumper, posing a potential road hazard and increasing the risk of a crash. The recall affects the 2023 to 2024 Sequoia Hybrid, but not all vehicles within the production period are included, and some were not sold in the U.S., according to documents filed with NHTSA on August 26th. Other Toyota or Lexus models sold in the U.S. either have a differently designed tow hitch cover or are not equipped with one. In the affected vehicles, the resin tow hitch cover is secured to the rear bumper by molded clips, and this design may not keep it securely attached. Between November of 2022 and January of 2023, Toyota received 2 reports of the tow hitch cover detaching from the bumper and did not pursue further action as parts were not recovered at inspections and improvements were made in the manufacturing facilities. In August of 2023, the company observed an increase in warranty claims and received more reports of incidents. The automaker responded by implementing design changes to the tow hitch cover and rear bumper at the manufacturing plant in July. As of August 20th of 2024, there have been 15 Toyota field technical reports and 1,024 warranty claims in the U.S. concerning the tow hitch cover, according to NHTSA documents. A Toyota spokesman said the company would like to refrain from commenting regarding deaths or injuries related to the defect. The parts supplier is Toyota Gauzy Texas in San Antonio. Dealers were informed of the defect on August 26th and will replace the tow hitch cover with an updated part and modify the rear bumper to fit the new component. Vehicle owners should expect to receive notification letters by October 19th, which will advise them they can mitigate the risk by removing the cover. Well, that's it for this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny. Stay tuned to Oxford Community Television.
Back with you on Oxford News this week. This week in sports, the report again: silver medalists from Oxford and Clarkston. They might not have competed for the Olympic glory, but in Paris. But the Mary Spearman and Rick Didana brought home second-place medals with their pickleball prominence at the Michigan Senior Olympics in Rochester Hills. The pair silver finished earned them the right to compete at the 2025 National Senior Games in Des Moines, Iowa. The duo actually met right here at the Seymour Lake Township Park playing pickleball at the pickleball courts and have been playing as partners for about 3 years. Spearman, who is an Oxford resident, also began her pickleball journey here. She took up lessons ordered through the Oxford Township Parks and Rec. In an interview with the Charter Township of Oxford's Facebook page, Spearman actually said she enjoys the physical aspect of hitting the courts 3 or 4 times a week, explaining she liked pushing herself to see just how far she could go. She relishes in knowing the camaraderie that comes along with the competition of her signature sport. We wish them both well, good luck, their practice and preparation for when they compete at the national level, the Senior Games in late July of next year. Again, they'll be out there trying to bring another medal home to the Oxford area. The Oxford High School cross-country teams began their season with a bang at the Milford Invitational at Kensington Metro Park late last month. The Lady Wildcats took home 11th place out of 17. Senior Taylor Bordeaux, 11th place finish with a time of 21 minutes and 28 seconds was the most impressive of the runners for that day. Oxford girls top 5 also included the 53rd, 58th, 66th, and the 67th place finishes. Rochester won the Invitational for the girls with a final score of 103 points. The Wildcats team earned a 241 points, taking 10th out of 19 teams that actually participated. The boys' fastest runner was junior Caden Canham, who finished at 31st place with a time of 18 minutes, 41 seconds. The boys' team also had finishers at 37, 43, 70, and 75th place. Clarkson was the overall boys' team winner for that event with 54 points. The Wildcats head to Lake Orion High School and then in weeks to come for the OAA Red Jamboree. Look for more sports coming up on OCTV. We're going to be covering football, swimming, and whatever else the sports has to offer. You'll see that on OCTV, and we'll be bringing you the sports reports right here on Oxford News This Week. Coming up in our last story, you're going to want to look forward to that. In our last story, Alison Miller will have making moves across the Mackinac Bridge. She'll have that story, and Dave Kenny will have another segment. You're watching Oxford News This Week.
Welcome to Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny, and this story is taken from New Scientist. Around 1.5 billion people around the world do not have access to garbage collection services, and how they dispose of their plastic waste has become a serious environmental problem. Most of these households resort to burning their plastic waste or dumping it in the environment, according to a new analysis which argues comprehensive collection services are the only way to make a dent in global plastic pollution. Kostas Velis at the University of Leeds in the UK and his colleagues used waste data from local governments as well as census data to model the flow of plastic waste in city regions around the world. An AI algorithm was then trained on this data to predict how waste is generated and dealt with for more than 50,000 city regions globally. This bottom-up approach provides an unprecedented look at how plastic waste is treated and why it becomes pollution in different countries, says Velis. It hasn't been done before, he says. Velis' team estimates that 52.1 million metric tons, and those are big tons, of plastic waste, a fifth of the global total, becomes pollution every year, mostly generated in poorer countries where garbage collections are unreliable or non-existent. Instead of being dealt with properly, most of this plastic waste is incinerated in homes, on streets, or in small dumps without any environmental controls. Around 57% of uncollected plastic garbage is dealt with in this way. The researchers estimate with the remaining 43% left to litter the environment. Burning plastic not only produces greenhouse gases, but also releases cancer-causing dioxins, particulate pollution, and heavy metals, all of which are damaging to human health. In general, low-income countries produce much less plastic waste per person, but much more of that waste ends up polluting the environment. In higher-income countries, by comparison, the vast majority of waste is collected and processed, with littering the largest cause of plastic pollution. The findings underscore the need for low-income countries to receive support to establish comprehensive waste collections for all citizens, says Velis. India, Nigeria, and Indonesia were flagged as the countries with the highest plastic pollution rates. The research comes ahead of talks set to take place in November in Busan, South Korea, where countries will consider adopting the world's first plastic waste treaty. Velis is calling for the treaty to contain measures requiring countries to steadily increase the proportion of their waste handled by proper facilities, with high-income countries providing greater funding assistance. The absence of waste collection is the biggest contributor to the plastic pollution problem, he says. Wow. Well, that's it for this edition of Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny.
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad.
Thanks for hearing me out, bro.
Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
In our last story this week, making moves across the Mackinac Bridge. The 66th annual Mackinac Bridge Walk sent around 30,000 pedestrians to cross between the peninsulas this Labor Day. The 5-mile-long suspension bridge is normally closed to foot traffic, but during the holiday, visitors can take the 2-hour trip in the morning before the route reopens for vehicles at noon. Participants started in either Mackinac City or St. Ignace. This event has taken place every year since 1958, excluding 2020 when it was canceled due to the COVID-19 pandemic. A cool, clear start shifted to what the Mackinac Bridge Authority called beautiful sunny skies for the 2024 iteration of the event. Mackinac Bridge Authority Bridge Director Kim Nowak said while 30,000 was not the largest crowd the bridge has seen, it was certainly on the upper end of the range of participants in recent years. Nowak said cloudless skies gave absolutely beautiful, unobstructed views of the Straits of Mackinac.
Good stuff. Now, what did you do on the holiday?
On the holiday, I was just spending time at home with my family.
I got you.
Yeah.
Did you guys barbecue or something, or what?
I don't think so. I know we were making meals that my brother liked because he was at home.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah.
We were talking about that, him coming home from U of M from the first weekend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so my mom she gardens during the summer, so we were using fresh vegetables, fresh cherry tomatoes to make pasta.
Oh,
so,
nice.
Yeah.
I met my sons over at the Michigan Renaissance Festival.
Oh, okay.
And I was a pirate, so.
Really?
But I don't move much. When I'm there. I kind of just plant myself and watch people walk by.
Mm-hmm. That's okay.
Which is kind of cool to people watch.
Right, yeah. Especially because everyone's dressed up.
And it was actually a nice day for that because of the fact that it wasn't too hot. Like in August, it can be almost too hot to go out there.
Yeah.
And my sons are both, they do some kind of like Viking characters.
Okay.
So there's a lot of garb there,
right.
And it's hot out, so they said it was perfect. So
good.
I think there's one more weekend on the tickets that we were actually giving away here at the station, and it's something good, something kind of cool that it would go out there and then traipse along with all the royalty, I guess, right?
Enjoy yourself out there, right?
Oh, yeah, no doubt. Anyways, it's been good to have you on the news.
Thank
and
you.
I mean, definitely it's something when you come back from the holidays, you got to step in, whether you sit in for me or Terry. I mean, a lot of people getting to see your face, and they get to hear your words. I think it's important that they see who you are too.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Anybody you want to say hi to, before you head back to the school?
I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, I'm just grateful. I'm grateful that I get to have this opportunity, and I'm grateful for my family and my friends, my teachers, professors, everyone for supporting me as I, have to fund college and get through college and everything. So yeah, just thank you to my whole support system.
Well, we definitely like having you here, and as I say, we appreciate the words you write.
Yeah.
And, again, it's a nice little system that's worked out for you and us and stuff like that.
Yeah, and thank you to everyone at the station, too, for giving me the opportunity to be here, to work here.
Oh, no doubt. We want to thank Kyle, who does like 15 jobs while we're here.
Right, yes. Thank you, Kyle, our wonderful technical director back there.
Everything, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, just so you didn't, I don't know if you knew this or not, OCTV actually can be viewed on Spectrum Charter Channel 191, on Channel 999, the AT&T Uverse system. You know what? When you're at college, you know where you can see us at?
Where?
On YouTube, Facebook, Rumble, which I don't even know what a Rumble is, but I guess that you can watch TV on it.
Yeah.
Amazon Fire Stick, and the place I watch and love, Roku, the app as well. If you have a show idea, would like to volunteer, like if you're doing your school in the middle of the night, you have an idea, contact our office, OCTV, give our office a call, no matter what time, 248-628-9658, ask for Terry or even Dave. A very special thank you going out to a gentleman that we just mentioned a bit ago. We didn't know how he spent the holiday, but director Kyle Snage, news writer extraordinaire Alison Miller, and of course our station manager, she's been away for a few weeks, Terry Stiles. Also, for everyone here, smack dab at OCTV, I'm Jim Hughes, hoping you have a safe week. I invite you back next time, when again, we will take a look at Oxford News this week.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.